Welcome everybody. As you might know if you've visited my Facebook site, recently I bought a Rode VideoMicro, which is a small shotgun microphone designed to be mounted directly onto your camera. So it comes with a little windsock and it comes with a little cable to plug it in. Now on a camera like this Lumix G7, it actually has a little microphone port, and you just plug the microphone straight into there, and when you start shooting video it works without any kind of problem. You will find some cameras have a smaller, this has got a 3.5mm port. Some cameras only have a 2.5mm port, but you can buy a handy dandy adapter, a little bit like this one, which will adapt your 3.5mm to a 2.5mm. So one of the things that I wanted to do with this microphone, it's relatively medium priced, about $70 for this microphone, is I want to use it to improve the audio quality on my iPhone as well as my MacBook Air, such as I'm doing now. So you can buy little adapters. So for example, here's an adapter that takes it to a USB-A, or sorry, USB Type-C connector, or here's one that adapts it to a lightning adapter, which would work in your phone. And on the opposite ends of these are your normal little headphone jacks, 3.5mm headphone jacks. So you'd think all you'd have to do is stick your new microphone into there, stick this into your MacBook or your iPhone, Bob's your uncle, you'd start recording sound. But I can assure you, after much experimentation, that's not what happens. So you can research it and look on YouTube and things like that, and there are plenty of videos that talk about this in more detail. But the problem basically comes down to this. Most of the microphones you get come with a little plug that looks a bit like this. I don't know how well you can see that but this plug has 3 sections. So there's a tip, a ring, and a sleeve. And what the Macintosh really wants, and a lot of smartphones really want, is one that looks a bit like this. So this has 4 sections. So there's a tip, a ring, and a sleeve. So what happens is this normal one is good for stereo. So the tip and the first ring carry your right and left signals. And these ones here with the extra ring, well, that was used for 2 purposes. That could either carry a video signal, and you'll see some of these used to hook up that way, or it can also be used for the internal mic, such as one like on this one, where you can use the microphone through this jack to answer phone calls and such. So what you'll need to get is a converter. So you can buy cables, which will have one end as a TRS, so tip, ring, sleeve jack on them, and the other end will be a TRRS, so tip, ring, sleeve jack on them. And then you can plug the TRS end into your microphone. You plug the TRRS end into the appropriate adapter, so in this case a USB Type-C adapter, or here I've got one for the, can plug it in, and this is for the lightning adapter, which will work on your iPhone. So I've used both of these. The one on the iPhone works perfectly well. The USB Type-C adapter for your MacBook Air, not so well. So I'm going to have to keep continuing to experiment to see if I can get this USB-C connection to work with a audio for the MacBook Air. However, it's not all bad news, because the MacBook Pro, the MacBook Pro, like mine, also still has a headphone jack. So if you get your TRRS jack and you put it into that headphone jack and attach it to your microphone, you will find if you go into your sound settings, you can select that as an external microphone, which is what I'm doing at the moment. So it takes a bit of fidgeting, but with the right little bits of cable and adapters, you can use the same microphone. So in this case, the Rode VideoMicro. You can use it on your video camera, you can use it on your iPhone, or you can use it on your MacBook. So you get use out of all three. Now what I'll do in a minute is I'll do a little sound test of using the internal versus the external Rode microphone on these devices, so you can see how they compare. So one more little tip that you have to look out for, got the kitty cat here, is I thought the external microphone wasn't recording properly because every time I'd record something in it and then play it back, I wouldn't get any sound. That's because you've got it plugged into what is also the headphone jack. So you can't hear the sound until you unplug that when you want to play it back. So you need to get a bit used to plugging it in and unplugging it as you need it. Or you can get a headphone splitter and listen to the headphones at the same time. So look out for my internal and external microphone tests coming up next. So this audio test is with the Rode Micro shotgun mic on the MacBook Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is the quality that you get through that microphone. So this is a recording using the internal microphone from the MacBook Pro. So this is the quality you get with that microphone. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. So this is the Lumix G7 using the internal microphone, and this is the quality of the video you get there. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. So this is the Lumix G7 using the Rode VideoMicro, the compact shotgun microphone. So this is the quality of that audio. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. So this is the iPhone using the internal microphone. So testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. So this is the iPhone with the VideoMicro, the Rode miniature shotgun microphone. So this is the sound quality you get from that on the iPhone. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. So what can we conclude? Are these little external microphones worth it? Well, you can see on each device there's quite a difference between the way the internal microphones work. Some are louder and some are quieter. You'll see then also on each device the difference between the external microphone and the internal microphone is a little subtle, but certainly one of the things you can pick up is the slightly better quality of the audio with the external microphones and the reduction of the background noise and echo. Now remember, these are only fairly modest little microphones. Clearly if you got a more expensive microphone, you'd probably even get a better difference. So I'll certainly be using one for when I'm shooting video and doing interviews and things like that. So thanks for your time, and at least we worked out a solution where I got one microphone to work on 3 devices. Cheers.